Hello, everyone. This is Tyler from the SSW.Rules team, and today you're joining us for the SSW.Rules Sprint 3 Retro and Review and the Sprint 4 Forecast. So let's just jump right into it. Jumping over into the email. So we had a sprint goal this sprint of rules can use .mdx files, but we weren't able to achieve that this sprint, so that's just in progress. So this is sprint 3 in review. This was a 1-week sprint, and we've got some attendees that I will update later. So for our sprint review this sprint, Caleb, do you want to kick us off with a brief description of the spike that you did for the unsupported markdown syntax?
Yeah, so I've run a Python script over the rules content repo to see how many rules we would have to update if we wanted to manually update the content of those files to MDX. And that would just be like swapping out things like figure text with React components and that sort of thing. And it looks like it affects just over half of the rules. So it's not something we would want to do manually. But I do have some more charts in the PBI that go into a bit more detail about what specific issues are in which specific rules and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in order to fully support MDX and use MDX components, we would have to make large changes to the rules content, but there's ways that we can get around it on our end, is basically the summary of that PBI. Thanks, Caleb. So moving on, Barbara, you worked on the App Insights switch from instrumentation key to connection string. Do you want to talk about that a little?
Yes. So I have updated application insights initialization in Gatsby to use connection string instead of instrumentation key because instrumentation key is now deprecated. And I also updated application insights packages.
Yeah, awesome. So something else we worked on this sprint as the sprint goal is to convert SSW rules to use .mdx files, and that is still in progress, and there's been a few changes made. The summary is that we're going to migrate from the Gatsby Markdown Remark plugin over to the Gatsby MDX plugin. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but there was a few hiccups along the way with the build, and some issues that had to be sorted out. So that's a summary of that one. And now the most exciting PBI that we had done this sprint is the POC for Tina CMS visual editing on Gatsby. Hugo, do you want to give a brief summary of what you did? And then I'll get Gilles to do a brief summary of what he did.
So basically, made the visual editing and the click to edit work. So we've got pages where you can see your side panel on the left and see your live preview on the right now. That's pretty nice. That's thanks to Jack. So thank you again, Jack. To do this, we had to make some workaround, but this will be okay for now, I guess. We just have to try this on the rules repo directly.
Yeah. So Gilles, how about you? What did you work on this one?
I worked on make dynamic queries working using collection names, and also managed to work on to make different templates working also with the collection names. And yep, that's about everything. You can add different templates using different collections setup.
Yeah. So that is a really exciting revelation that we had. Gilles and Hugo did a really great job unlocking visual editing for us on Gatsby. It's something we didn't know or think was possible when we started this project. They've created some awesome videos, so I've linked them in this email, and I'm going to also link them in the description of this video. So moving on from that, who worked in the sprint? We've got Barbara, Kappa, Caleb, Isaac, and Bradley. And then additionally, we've got obviously Hugo and Gilles, but as we discussed last week, we can't currently see the Frenchies in this report. So releases, we had 2 new code releases this sprint, which is really great. So we're getting some tech debt knocked over by Barbara while we continue working on Tina CMS implementation as well, which is really exciting. In terms of the application health overview, it looks quite similar to last week, but App Insights errors should start to reduce after this sprint, as far as I'm aware. Barbers sent out an email, SSW.Rules reactions feature broken, and we'll be doing a migration over to Giscus, which should address our Azure Functions errors. And Barbers also created a new issue for Application Insights errors, App Insights error. So we'll briefly jump into this. There is an error that we can see on App Insights, a GET request that is failing. So we'll have Baba take a look at that and get back to us. So moving on from there, how are we going for progress? So our Epic Tina CMS migration, currently we're at 18 out of 48 PBIs completed. There's going to be more inevitably, but we had a whopping 8 PBIs completed this sprint, and about 5 or 6 newly created this sprint. In terms of R&D work, yes, we had Jill and Hugo working with Jack P to get visual editing working with Gatsby. And again, as I mentioned, I will link these videos here. So go check those out. Really awesome. Jumping into the sprint retro now. So what went well? I think that with the visual editing stuff, Jill and Hugo making it work, it's really awesome. I note that some improvements can be made, but we should document it and try it out on a rules repo ASAP. So really awesome job again, guys. I think there's been lots of dones, good number of dones, and switching over to the .mdx plugin looks great. It's very exciting. I would say that MDX has a lot more versatility than .md, so that's why I've got that there. In terms of tech debt, so Brady says tech debt we're getting rid of it. And even though we're working on new features, we're still working on removing that tech debt, which is very exciting. Caleb loves me, and Hugo and Jill loves Jack P. So we're all family here. And Baba is happy that we made a decision on using Giscus for our comments and reactions. Things that didn't go so well, I had a feeling that I could be more active in unblocking some of our team. Some of the team doesn't feel that way, but it's just a feeling that you get. Brady feels like he doesn't understand the very technical stuff, and as PO, he doesn't need to. But if he wants to be involved more, that's okay. Brady thinks that Jill will be lonely this sprint. Jill, how do you feel?
Very, very, very sad, but it's like that.
I think we should divorce Hugo.
Never.
All right. And what improvements will be made for next sprint? For myself and Brady, we'll check in with the team a bit more, just in case things are stuck and for some reason we don't know about it. So that is the review and retro for this sprint. Jumping over to the planning now. I haven't got CCs up here, I'll note. So this is the sprint 4 forecast. Our sprint goal remains the same as last sprint, making sure that rules can use .mdx files. We don't want to be super ambitious this sprint. So for plans PBIs this sprint, we've got trying to finish off that .mdx files issue. And then we've got an issue to use the graybox box markdown component. And hopefully we'll be able to get that one implemented. And that'll be really exciting. It means we can start seeing all of our rules formatting come over into the Tina CMS site. We've got a few tech debt improvements for Baba. And more exciting as well is that we have a plan for Gilles to document the visual editing. And the ultimate goal for this is to, 1, document visual editing for Gatsby. 2, proof that documentation by implementing it on SSW.Rules. And then 3, proof that sample or update the documentation and then update the sample repo that we have or that POC and then hand that over to the Tina CMS team so that they have control of it and they can update it as they want. So the ultimate goal of that is to, on the Tina documentation site, have a section that says visual editing in Gatsby with Tina CMS, and then people will be able to refer to the repo that we created or Hugo and Gilles created and be able to implement that for themselves, which will be super awesome to see. For myself, I've also got a PBI to start using the sidebar Tina CMS document. So we don't currently use Tina CMS for our sidebar, but we should be able to get that implemented so that it's dynamic. So that is the forecast for Sprint 4. Brady, do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Tyler. It's all good.
Yeah, awesome. Anyone, if you have questions or queries, let me know. Awesome. Cool. So, everyone, that was the sprint review and retro for Sprint 3 and the forecast for Sprint 4 on SSW Rules. I'm going to be posting this on the SSW Rules YouTube channel and linking any relevant videos that we talked about this sprint. So, thank you very much, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Salut. À bientôt.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.